Warning, don't let your girlfriend watch this video. Here's 3 things that's gonna ruin your career. Coming in at number 1 is complacency. Being complacent in your career. This is the fastest way to destroy your career, and guys that are complacent, I know they're on their way out. Listen, this happens at every single level, and I've personally seen it, throughout my own career. So if it's happening to me, I know it's happening everywhere. So the first time that I saw this was all the way back in high school. It was me and one other player as a freshman that made our varsity team. The other kid, right, that made the varsity team was the Little League All-Star, hitting all these home runs. He's supposed to be the next Bryce Harper, always in the papers, yada, yada, yada. Me, I didn't have that. Really, the only reason that I was on varsity is because I was a left-handed pitcher. So I was always in this kid's shadow, basically my entire life up through Little League and all the way to high school. However, this guy got complacent, stopped working hard, would just show up to practice, do the bare minimum when I was secretly grinding in the trenches trying to surpass him. I used that as fuel every single day. I would wake up in the morning, go to the gym, get all my work in, show up to practice early, do my early work, etc. I was obsessed with becoming better than this kid who was my same age and who I was in the shadows of. So fast forward through our high school career, little by little, year by year, when these college scouts would come see this particular player, he wasn't performing, but guess who was? I was. I was the one receiving the fruits of my labor, while his game from his freshman year all the way through high school went down and down and down. I was the one that was skyrocketing, making improvements, and eventually I was the one that got that Division I scholarship, not him. All because he was complacent. God gave him a gift, but he didn't do anything with that gift. And I even see that every day in here with all our high school athletes. They come in saying they want to beat out so-and-so for the starting lineup come springtime, and it makes me smile because guess what? Your teammate ain't in here busting his ass. You are, so I know you're gonna surpass him. This, came true at the college level as well. Once I got my Division I scholarship, first day of campus, I showed up at the Division I university and I play outfield, right? All other 3 outfielders were returning. They were juniors, they were seniors, they were 3-4 year starters. So I took it like, hey, center fielder's super fast, probably not gonna beat him out. I walked down the list. Left fielder, junior, didn't hit too good last year. I bet you I could probably beat him out. Right fielder, same thing. Junior, didn't hit too well last year. I bet I can outwork him and beat him out. In fact, the first time at practice where we divided outfielders up, I shook the right fielder's hand to meet him and he's like, hey, I'm our starting right fielder. So that fueled something within inside me to be like, hey, this hasn't changed since high school. I still have that same competition, it's just leveled up. So what did I do? What I've always done, I outworked them, they got complacent, and I will never forget it, okay? When we break from fall, I made some serious strides, those guys didn't, okay? When we went on winter break, we get a month, to train by ourselves to go back before springtime, so that month is super important. After that winter break, when I went back to campus, our coach wanted to see who actually put in the work during that month of alone time. So he paired us up in a conditioning or hell week, so to speak, versus other players at our position. I went first with the left fielder, during this conditioning circuit. Absolutely smoked him. I won the team's respect. Coach put me to the back of the line. All the other players went. Then at the end, he left out the right fielder, and said, hey, Summers, hop up there again. So I'm like, holy rip, I got to do this whole conditioning circuit twice? But I saw what he was doing. He was putting me against these older, juniors and seniors that I had to go up against to earn my stripes. So I bared down. I smoked the right fielder as well. Heck, he had to go sip on his inhaler. I was in the best shape of my life. I crossed the line, everybody starts clapping, and right there is a moment I'll never forget. I won that starting job, and it was kind of without being said, right? I knew it, everybody on the team knew it. That left fielder, that right fielder that were, first sure starters crumbled, and you could see it in their faces. Fast forward a few weeks on our first road trip, right? We're driving like a 6-hour bus drive, I'll never forget it. Still, nobody has told me, no coach has told me I was starting yet, but during that bus ride, coach calls me up to the front of the bus, shows me the lineup, I'm hitting 3-hole starting right field. One of the best moments in my entire life, and it was, hey, I busted my ass because these two guys were complacent, I saw an opportunity, and I closed. And you may not think it, believe it or not, this even happens at the major league level. Guys getting complacent with where they're at. I've seen it in here. Guy gets a ton of money, right? Completely shuts down, doesn't even train for an off season, just expecting, that teams are gonna keep investing in him. But it never works out, right? This last year with a particular player, they gave him all these millions of dollars, ended up releasing him, at the end of his contract. Now he may be, having to play overseas or indie ball. And that's something you see every time. You can be a legend, right? Especially at that level. Organization invest the money into you. Why on earth would you get complacent? That should be a switch. Hey, I'm gonna prove them right. I'm gonna earn it. I'm gonna go down as a legend. But people don't think that way. That's why if you're on the come up, you have to think that way, because why? There's somebody right below you that's grinding every single day, seeing that you're complacent, and they're gonna steal your job no matter what level you're at.
Should I stand like Ohtani? Aaron Judge is a teacher, man. Should I? I'm 2 base short. I'm short. Should I do the scissor move? Actually, I'm swinging a 34-inch bat. I heard Barry Bonds swung a 32. Should I toe tap? Nah, I'm going to leg kick. Why don't I line my knuckles up? Everybody says line your knuckles up. My launch angle sucks. Actually, maybe it doesn't. Nah, swing down. JD Martinez says palm up. Why are my palms down? Why do I throw left, back, right? My dominant side flex. I'm so screwed.
The second way that will ruin your career is being domed up or consistently tinkering with crap. Listen, man, we've all seen it. Maybe you've experienced it. You've seen teammates going down this rabbit hole of always trying new things, and that is a very, very slippery slope. Maybe guys are going out there attaching themselves to different hitting methodologies, hitting coaches, pitching gurus, whatever it may be. Their Instagram feed's full of all these different new drills that they're trying. And ultimately, at the end of the day, they're gonna step in that box, the bat's gonna feel like a foreign object. They're gonna pick up a baseball and think, hey, what the heck is this? It happens to so many guys. They fall down this rabbit hole to where they trust other people's opinions, trust Instagram videos, hitting gurus over their own personal self. You need to be your best coach. So I talked about my last one on how I built my career. Let's talk about how I personally ruined it. So during that freshman year, like I had talked about, I was very successful. I was a D1 freshman standout, whatever it may be. But for some reason after that freshman year, I decided to go out and get a hitting coach. I've never had a hitting coach before. And this was my first introductory to, other ways or other methods to do things. And the number one thing that always saved me was the inside pitch. I always had an unbelievable amount of confidence, and I've patterned my swing to be able to hit that inside pitch. I was so confident, I didn't care. If a guy was throwing 100 miles an hour in on the hands, I was turning around on it. I could always go ahead and say, if he throws me an inside pitch, I'm gonna hit it. And that made me very dangerous during the early days of my career, because when times got tough, I would just scooch up on the plate, make everything an inside pitch, and I could turn on it and kill it and stay in the lineup, and have success. Once I got, different hitting coaches, I went down the rabbit hole. The big one I personally went down, and granted, people are gonna hate that I'm gonna say this, but because other people do have success doing it, but I didn't. It literally ruined my career, is the teacher man style swing, right? So I dove deep into that teacher man, that high level patterning BS, in my opinion, right? I went up to PA to hit with his disciples, you know, for a couple years, where every day we would consistently pattern that high level pattern, dumping the barrel, you know, snapping it. I thought I was on the right path. Soon as I stepped in a game, I'm like, holy cow. Not only can I not hit all the other pitches, I lost that edge of that inside pitch and I couldn't do anything. So now, started getting more and more at bats under my wing. Bat feels like a foreign object. I have no idea what I'm doing. And from that point on, I was always searching to try to get back to where I was, and I could never find it. Ultimately, completely ruined my career. So with that, I'm saying, okay, I'm not trying to crash teacher man or the high level patterning guys, but what I am trying to teach you is you need to know yourself more than any other coach possibly will. You are the one that needs to be your best coach. The elite hitters, most of them, to be honest with you, had the same swing since they were young. Of course, there's gonna be some mechanical adjustments that need to be made, but they will never lose that feel, that confidence that keeps them good. They will never let somebody tell them some sort of hitting method and they will ditch all their old ones. There's a lot of power in being able to say, no, that's not for me. That's not the type of player I am. And that is a big difference between guys searching, okay, and guys that are there and have success. Have confidence in your ability, have confidence that got you to where you are. Sure, there's gonna be some little tidbits that you can take, but take everything with a grain of salt. Because I promise you, when you go down that road far enough, you're gonna hit a point to where, hey, I just wish I did, you know, what I did back in the day, trying to search back, backtrack. So stop getting domed up, stop tinkering with crap. I've seen that ruin a ton of careers, including mine. Honey, I'm home.
Where the hell have you been?
Been taking a couple extra swings with the boys. I'm really starting to figure things out.
You really have to do that all day?
Heck, hit 220 last year. It's time to start figuring things out.
Yeah, but is it really worth it to travel the country in the minor leagues making $1,000 a month? I mean, my family is embarrassed that we're not getting married. I'm never a priority to you. You're always busy doing this. Do you even love me anymore?
Sound familiar? The third way that you can ruin your career. Listen, this is gonna sound terrible. I get that, okay? But hear me clearly, right? I started this channel, I'm giving you guys valuable information. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. A good cheerleader won't distract the quarterback when the game's on the line. So we will call number 3, call it a toxic relationship, call it a girlfriend or significant other that is dragging you down, not lifting you up. Maybe she's being impatient with you. You know, you're not spending as much time with her as you are, you know, in the batting cages, getting your extra work, whatever it may be, okay? But we'll call number 3 a toxic relationship. I've seen this too many times to count. Absolute stud players, stand out, making serious strides in their career. You look at him like, hey man, that guy's gonna be a big leaguer someday. Goes ahead, goes out, gets a girlfriend, she's toxic, takes his legs out from under him. Now he's all stressed out, batting average starts going down, loses his passion for the game, loses his passion to, you know, prep, to train, whatever it may be, trying to spend extra time with her. The career absolutely plummets. And with this, I've seen it at every single level as well, and it absolutely breaks my heart. You know, in here, we train a lot of high school players. There's a handful of them that are absolute studs that can make it very, very far in this game. But what do? They go out, get a girlfriend, right? Now they start skipping training sessions. It's unbelievable because I can see the slippery slope start to come into effect. You know, talking straight physiology, right? Performing at a high level. Everybody likes to do all this extra recovery stuff, your red light, sauna, cold tub. Everybody talks about this. But the science tells us that there is 3 main ways to recover. The most important, obviously, is your sleep, okay? Second most important is your nutrition. What is the third most important? It's managing stress levels throughout the day. Your body does not know the difference after an 0 for 4 day and when your girlfriend's bitching at you. It just doesn't. So your stress, your systemic stress, will go ahead and build up over time, and it'll stack on each other, giving you the complete inability to recover, make gains in the weight room, build adaptations you're looking for, be mentally sharp during games. If you're out there trying to hit 95 every night, the last thing you need to do is go home to a girlfriend that's bitching at you. Just plain and simple. Now, granted, I do believe there are girls or, significant others that will build you up, that will help you. I'm talking about the ones that go ahead and tear you down, that are impatient with you. For example, I'm bringing up personal experiences, so here's a couple, right? Throughout high school, I was building up, being the guy, right? Going to that next level. I had a girlfriend for 4 straight years in high school that held me accountable. She was dialed in. There was only a couple athletes in our whole entire school to go on to the college level, and me and her were 2 of them because we were battling it out. We didn't, go out to parties, drink underage, whatever it may be. We just hustled to try to achieve our goals. So that 4-year period, that growing period for me, having that good significant other at the time propelled me to the next level. But I've also had it the other way, a toxic relationship, right? In my professional life, I'm training athletes. I'm not out there, trying to hit 95, but I was seeing about a female a couple years ago, started to get intertangled with that. She was extremely toxic. I was coming to work every day with all that stress on my shoulders, and I need to be a professional to train $1 million athletes to try to get to the next level. Granted, I'm not hitting 95, but I don't know how anybody would ever do that. So there's good ones and there's bad ones. Make sure they support your dreams. They're right along with you. I think it's important in a relationship for, that other person to have their own goals too. So if they're working towards their goals over here and you're working towards your goals over here, everything's gonna be good. You guys are still young. If you're playing, tell her, tell them, hey, just give me a couple years, let me figure this out. You commit to that, the back half of our lives together, I can pour more into you. A good one is gonna understand, and they can see that there's gonna be a big ROI in you going out there, taking your extra swings, doing your extra practice, whatever it may be. There's 3 things that's gonna kill your career. I know we got deep, I know we got intense with that, but listen, if I didn't see it, I wouldn't say anything about it. My goal with this entire channel is to help you guys get to the next level. So I don't want you doing anything stupid to go ahead and ruin your career. So from the top, number 1, don't get complacent. There's somebody coming out of the woodwork trying to steal your spot every single day. Number 2, don't go chase all these different hitting gurus, pitching gurus, take everything they say with a grain of salt. Don't get domed up. Don't go down that tinkering rabbit hole. Know you better than any coach ever will. And number 3, a good cheerleader ain't gonna distract the QB with the game on the line. See you next week. Game rewards the grind. It knows how much you invested.